My name is Cartina Butler, and I'm a kindergarten teacher here at Blackman Elementary School.
And my name is Laura Heath. I'm also a kindergarten teacher here at Blackman Elementary. And today we would like to share with you some strategies that you can use at home to help your child develop number sense.
So what is number sense? Number sense is having a sense of what numbers mean, understanding their relationship to one another, being able to perform mental math, understanding symbolic representations, and using those numbers in real world situations. So more than just counting and being able to name the numbers. So some strategies that you could use to help your child develop a sense of number is to match a number to a set of objects. So you can have numbers 0 through 10, and you can show different ways to show the number and have them to match that number to those objects. Some things that we also do in class might be to have a number of the day, and we can show that number of the day, for instance, the number 10, by drawing 10 tally marks. We can show the number 10 on a 10 frame. We can talk about the number that comes before and after 10. We can talk about whether the number 10 is odd or even. We can put the number 10 on a number bond and break the number 10 up into parts. And we can use it in a subtraction or an addition sentence. We can also write the number word for 10, draw a picture to represent 10, and then talk about one more than 10 and one less than 10. Another strategy is called subitizing. And subitizing is being able to recognize quantities of objects without counting. So an example of what we may do with that is we use these dot cards, and we might hold them up and then take them away, and then have the child to explain what they saw. So as they explain, some children may say that I saw 4 plus 1, and I know that's 5. Or some may say I saw 2 plus 2 plus 1, and that's 5. But being able to represent that, see those representations in their head, and then be able to explain what they saw. So one-to-one correspondence, knowing that the last number that you counted names how many objects, so touching each object, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and knowing that that's six objects counted. Another strategy you could use is comparing numbers, and you can do this in many different ways. You can use the numerals 6 and 7, or you can use objects and talk about which is greater or less. So if your child's not quite ready to use the numerals to compare, you can use 6 objects and 7 objects and talk about more or less. And then being able to talk about math and think about math and explain their thinking. So your child may come home and use some of these strategies as they're working on their problems to help them solve.
Your child will be learning at school how to use tally marks in order to represent numbers and add and subtract with those numbers and compare. Your child will also be learning how to count on. For example, if you're adding 5 and 2, you can think about 5 and then add 2 more to make 6 and 7. We also use 10 frames at school with counters, and using the example of 5 plus 2 equals 7, the 5 red counters equal the representation for 5, and the 2 yellow, and then the children count to total them up to 7. Your children will also learn how to write number sentences and draw pictures as a strategy for solving math problems. Sometimes your child will be able to use mental math, where the child will just simply solve the problem in his or her head. We also allow the children to use finger counting in order to add and subtract. And we also use number lines. We can learn that we go up the number line to add, and we come back down the number line to subtract.
So as your child is working with story problems or word problems, these are some strategies they can use. Ask them questions and ask them to explain what strategies they used. So being able to think about math and talk about math is a good strategy.
And I have a couple of ideas of things that you can try at home with some objects that you probably have around the house. For one example, you can help your child develop number sense using a small object such as I have here dry beans, or you could use pennies or some other coin, and have your child just to match the objects to the numbers in each cup. And then after your child goes through the activity, you could have him him or her to pour out the objects and then count them again and can compare groups of objects. That's a good way to help develop number sense. Also, most people have at home a deck of cards. You can use cards in many different ways, actually, with math and number sense. The first thing you could do with the cards is basically use them as flashcards to help your child identify the numbers. And then as your child starts developing more number sense, you could have your child look at two cards and compare the numbers. Which number is greater than, which number is less than. And then as your child moves along in math, you could have your child take two cards and add them or subtract in order to get some extra practice in. We thank you for watching our video on math strategies and number sense, and we hope that you will be looking at the Sparks channel to find more videos that might come in handy to help you help your child